What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dave Connery, and I'm an artist designer living here in Long Beach, California, and I do, well, art and design. Today, we're working on a design project. Today, what we're talking about is Adobe InDesign, to be specific, and if you're not into Adobe InDesign, well, hey, sorry, it's gonna be a little bit entertaining for you, so maybe you want to watch, or if you wanted to learn what Adobe InDesign is all about, then yes, but we're gonna do a little tutorial about object styles. That probably means nothing to most of you, but for those of you who want to know, let's go. Before we get into object styles, if you're not familiar exactly what object styles are, you need to understand the hierarchy of style. There are three different types of styles, at least to my knowledge there's only three, but there are three different types of styles. There are character styles where how words and type and treatment is put to those words and type in little increments, like you want to change one word, want to change one letter, want to change the font or typeface for a particular line versus the line below it. You want to do that, you can do that with character styles. Then below that is paragraph styles, and in paragraph styles you have paragraphs of text that you can change entirely by clicking the paragraph styles. I will link to that video there, and you can check all of that out. So if you want to change how you do your word flow, your workflow, how you get the words out on the page and make them look beautiful, then you're gonna want to mess around with paragraph styles. But now let's say you've got the paragraph styles all worked out, you've got the character styles all worked out, and now you want to put them into pretty boxes that you want to do the same thing on over and over and over again. Well, then you're gonna need object styles, because those boxes that the words go into are objects. Let's say you want to do something like you want to add a stroke to every single box, and you want to make sure every single one is inset so that the type doesn't run up against the edge, and you want to make sure that there's a colored background behind there, and you want to make sure that the type inside does a certain thing whenever you click that object style. Then you're going to need object styles. Here's the thing. They all have their hierarchy. The reason I said character styles are up here, paragraph styles are here, and object styles are here is because each one interacts with the other differently. So I can create an object style, but let's say I have a paragraph style that is different than the paragraph style that might be attached to that object style, and I apply that paragraph style to whatever's inside that object. Well, then that paragraph style is going to supersede what's inside the object style. I may have an object style that's got a paragraph style inside, but if I go and take a character style and apply it to a word or several words within that paragraph, it's going to change and it's going to supersede whatever the object style and the paragraph style have in mind. So it's good to understand that hierarchy as you do this stuff. You should be thinking about that while you're making things, because you're going to want to know, oh, whoa, maybe I want to do certain things certain ways, and I need to know why this thing is doing that thing and it shouldn't be doing that thing, but it's doing that thing. It's probably because it's a character style fucking with your shit. Had that happen so many different times. Sorry for the foul language, but sometimes it gets so frustrating, it just like, why are you doing this? Usually character styles' fault. That said, I really love character styles for what they do, so no hate. Alright, good. Now we understand the whole thing. We understand. Alright, so what you have here on the screen is Adobe InDesign. If you're not familiar with Adobe InDesign, you don't know what it's for. It's basically for creating pages, page layouts where you want to have multiple pages flow together. Say you want a continuous magazine or a brochure or a book or something. You want to do that all in one thing. InDesign is probably the best. It is the best program to use for that. So what we're going to create here real quickly is we're going to create 4 different types of objects that are going to turn into object styles, and then we're going to show some techniques about how to use those things so that you can create better workflow for yourself. First things first, let's just get a simple box done, shall we? Looking at the screen here, if I go over here to the rectangle frame, let's say I want this to be a photo image frame. I want it to be a particular size, and I want it to stay that size every single time, but I don't want to have to drop a new box every single time. I just want to have that particular size and just be able to apply an object style and let that sucker rip. So I'm going to click here. I'm just going to drag out, holding my shift key to create a square. Now you can kind of see that something going on there. Just want to add a little bit of color to the background so you guys can see it. I'm going to put a little bit of cyan there, but I'm going to bring that sucker way, way, way down. And let's see what the size on this thing right now is. I didn't even get it. Oh, I did get it square. Here we go. We're going to make it 3 inches by 3 inches. For all intents and purposes, let's go ahead and put a little stroke around it so that we know that that's exactly what that is. We're going to put a little 2-point stroke, and I'm going to change that color on that stroke to, we'll leave it that cyan. Why not? Why not? We're just having fun. So now you got this, and let's say you want to duplicate this over and over and over and over and over again. You want to have it, or let's say you want to draw, let's say I just want to draw 16 different boxes of all different sizes and shapes. I'm not really going to do 16. Let's just say I do however many this is, and I want them to all be the same. How do I do that? How do I make all of these look like this? I'll explain that to you. It's Object Styles, of course. So I'm gonna go down here, I'm gonna go to my Styles palette up here in the window thing, and I'm gonna go down here, Object Styles. Oh, I guess there was also Table Styles. That's another one that we could do, but no. So you can see with the palette here, we've already got a couple of basic object styles applied. In fact, if I just took, let's see, change this one to basic graphic frame or basic text frame, it just automatically changes it to what it is. But we don't want that. What we want is we want to take this box and turn it into it. As you can see here in the object styles, it says nothing. There's nothing applied. So we're gonna go up here to this little hamburger thing down here. We're gonna go and say, new object style. Now, again, you have to make sure that this thing is selected before you do this. You could do a new object style this way and just create it from scratch, but this is already selected, and this is gonna save you a lot of time if you just go new object style, because it is already starting to populate the object style with the attributes that come here. Let's say, let's just go here. Let's let's see if I can find it. I don't see anything. Oh, here we go. Stroke and corner options, stroke options, arrowhead, line, meter limit, all that stuff is in there. This stuff that's already been applied. So we're just gonna say 3-inch blue box. We're gonna call it that based on nothing. It's based on nothing new, nothing before it. So we don't, that is if, let's say, okay, so based on is this, say, we create this blue box, and then I go and I turn around and create a pink box, but I wanted to have the exact same attributes as the blue box, but pink. Then anytime I go and make a change to the blue box style, the attributes that aren't different within those two styles, the ones that are different, the ones that are the same, those things will change throughout all of those. If I wanted them to be interlinked. If I don't want them to be interlinked, then I want to make sure that I say based on none. You also want to make sure you hit this apply style to selection, because you want it to apply to this box right here. You want this box to have this style applied to it, so you want to make sure you do that. And of course, if you're making any changes here while you're doing this, then you're going to want to hit that preview button right there. But it's already clicked on there, so whatever. Here we go. Drum roll, please. This should work. God, I hope this works. This should work. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna select all these boxes just by dragging. I missed one. There we go. Clicked and dragged and select all these boxes. Click this 3 block. Boom. Okay, well, it didn't change the size. That's probably my fault. But it changes all the shape, it changes all the colors and put all the stripes in there, so that's good. But let's go back and let's see if we can figure that out. So let's go here. Size and adjust. Yes, so we're gonna change the size. We're gonna go height and width, position, none, because we don't want to necessarily move it around. And you can already see, I'm gonna back this out a little bit. See how I did that? Let's go back to that, right? And go back here, size and position, adjust, height and width. And there should be 3, boom. Now all those boxes are 3 inches square. Now here's the great thing. Select them all. In fact, I don't even need to select them all. I'm just gonna select one. I don't even need to select one. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna just double click this blue box, I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna change, let's say 3 is way too big for this page. Let's go to 1.5. To 1.5. You can already see it working in the background back there. Boom, just like that. That's your basic object style right there. And here, I'm gonna give you something interesting. Now, like I said, that could be there all the time. That could be there. That's there. It's there. It's in this document. It's not going anywhere. What? Let's try this. Let's go. Let's do something different. Let's say pink. Now I got to figure out what this is. This is the only problem with the object styles, is you got to figure out where all this stuff is. Phil. There we go. Phil. My buddy Phil. Why isn't it showing? Oh, there it is. It was just not. I'm just not high enough. So we're gonna change that to what do I say? Pink. Change that to pink or magenta, if we're being exact. So now all of those changed to magenta. Now let's go back to the original one. These did not. These did not. Because that's a different style. It's the same style, just applied to a different document that I didn't change. But this one did. But guess what? Now guess what? I'm gonna come back over here. I'm gonna add it back to the library. I'm gonna bring this one, boom, over here. This is where it's gonna get tricky. Watch, drag that in there. 3-inch blue box, 3-inch pink box. Look at that. I don't know why I'm so excited. Okay, new page. We're gonna try something different. We're gonna take this same blue box, bring that sucker right over here. I'm gonna do some things. We're gonna add some effects to this. So it's already got the thing. We're gonna increase the size. We're gonna change the stroke. We're gonna go up to 5. We're gonna change this to Japanese dots. I don't know why they call them Japanese dots, but whatever. They look just like regular dots to me, but whatever. So we're gonna change that to Japanese dots. We're gonna change the color of this to, let's see, I'm gonna pick a random color that doesn't make sense and is ugly. Then we're going to also go back over the effects. We're gonna select the object. Now I can do this in different ones. I can do the fill if I just wanted, I could do the stroke if I wanted, or I could do the whole object. And I want to do the whole object because I want to do something cheesy, like add a drop shadow. Let's see, anything else I want to do? Maybe a gradient feather, but let's say, is it gonna let me change the color? No, let's not do the gradient feather. I don't want to get too complicated. That drop shadow is a little too intense for my taste, so we're gonna reduce the opacity down. I'm gonna change that color to go to that blue right there. Change that. Everything else looks pretty good. Now let's turn this into a style. Look at all that crazy stuff that's going on. Let's make another box. We're gonna go, no, object styles. New object style based on this thing. Crazy box. Crazy blue shadow box. Now I'm gonna go back to that thing, make sure the size of things is adjust height and width. So we have it, crazy blue shadow box. Let's move that underneath crazy pink box or 3-inch pink box. Fingers crossed. Boom! Just like that. I don't know why I'm so excited by this. I think it's because I don't use object styles all that much, and so I'm not the most well versed in this topic, and so for me to have success it's thumbs up. Now here's something I haven't tried yet, so we're gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna create a text box. Let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen here. Let's stand back. Crazy blue shadow box. Look at that! None of the text actually changed, and that's great. I thought the text might go disappear or something because it turned it into an object box, but it stayed a text box. It just kept all the other attributes, so that's kind of cool. Now we're getting really, really interesting, and you could go super, super deep on this. I am not gonna go super, super deep on this because I want you guys to take what you learn here and then go play with it, because you can do some really crazy things here just by experimenting and playing around with this. But we're gonna do this one last one, and we're gonna take care of this, and then you guys can go do whatever you want with object styles or do nothing. All right, guys, what we've got here is one last opportunity to show you what we can do here with object styles, and I'm just gonna get a little bit deep into this, and you can go even further deeper with it because there's a lot to explore. There's a lot of things you can experiment with object styles. It would take way too long for me to do them all, so get yourself started here. I'm gonna give you the primer, and then you go play with it all day long. Do whatever you want, but I'm gonna do this one last one for you guys because I think that this will give you an idea of like just the potential of what object styles are for. So I've got two boxes here. This one and this one. They are basically identical except for the ugly style applied to them, but this box here has the exact same text as this box here. Now what I've done here is I've already established this style for this one. I call it the ugly yellow paragraphs, whatever, and there's something even more robust about it. So if I click in here and I go over here to paragraph styles, you can see I have established this as a subhead. I've established this first paragraph as first paragraph, and then these paragraphs as body copy. Well, they should be body copy. They're supposed to be body copy. There you go. I'll break that up a little bit just to make it a little bit more interesting. I'm gonna find it over here. Actually, I'm not gonna find it over there because I'm gonna show you how this is interesting and different. But so yeah, so we've got this style thing. It's got the object style in it. It's also got the paragraph styles within it. The paragraph styles were established before I had made the object style, and so now the object style holds all of those paragraphs in there. Watch. I'm gonna select this paragraph over here, go to the object styles, ugly yellow paragraph box. Let's see what happens. It didn't do it. Okay, so it didn't exactly, it applied the basic styles, but it didn't apply any of the type styles, and now I gotta figure out why. So let's go in here, paragraph styles. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think I got it. Boom, just like that. Okay, so I figured it out. Not applied here. I'm gonna move this one over here, just so you can see. Now, this is where I was talking about. I need to go back and I need to explain something about paragraph styles real quick. Let's go in here and look at these. I'm gonna click off that just so you can see. So I'm gonna click in here to the subhead paragraph style, and you can see the basics here. It says subhead, based on no style, the next style that is to be applied is first paragraph. So cancel there, go in here to first paragraph. In fact, let's move subhead up top there so we can get a better understanding of that. Now, first paragraph. This is based on the body copy, and I based it on the body copy which was established first because the majority of the paragraphs are going to be body copy, and the first paragraph is, well, just the first one. So I based the style on body copy, so if I change body copy, then first paragraph is going to change too. The only difference between those two is the body copy has the indent, and the first paragraph does not. But I also want the next style applied to be body copy, because of course, after the first paragraph, every paragraph after should be body copy until it's not body copy. Now if we go to body copy, based on no paragraph style because it's its own, and there is no next. I could make something next. Let's say, for instance, I wanted to have a pull quote and have that in there. I could do that. Or let's say I wanted to apply some sort of spacing so that I could start the next subhead and then start this whole rotation. You could literally have a whole string of text that was broken up by certain things, and it knew, okay, when this certain thing happens, then the next thing that happens should be this, and the next thing that happens is that, and the next thing that happens, it's all that. It will apply once you put it all in the box. Once you get it all in the box, it will all apply. But it isn't yet. I also want to go back here real quick. Just want to make sure you see here in paragraph styles. Again, like I said, no styles applies whatsoever. None whatsoever. But if I come over here and I go back to my object styles and I click ugly yellow paragraph, the object got applied, but the paragraph styles did not. And that's because I made one critical error when I made this. So let's fix that. So we go here to paragraph styles, we click it. Now look, you'll see that it applied the subhead style across everything. Don't want that. I mean, maybe you do, but I don't. So I'm gonna hit apply next style. This is why it's important to set up your paragraph styles the right way, because if you don't set up the paragraph styles the right way, this ain't gonna work. Just by clicking this, boom, changed it. Subhead, first paragraph, body copy. Subhead, first paragraph, body copy. And so on and so forth. So now what do you do with all of this? Well, of course, if you were gonna create something that requires the same type of boxes, the same type of paragraph treatments, the same type of whatever to be treated. It doesn't have to be colorful, ugly, stupid boxes like this. It could just be paragraphs. Let's say you're streaming text over pages and pages and pages. You're creating a book and you want to make sure certain aspects get applied every single time. Well, you got to go in and you got to take the time to set up your paragraph styles. You got to go in time and set up your character styles, then apply those to some of the text, and then it will just go. It will just, once you click, you get the object style set up, and you click go, it will just go. Now it's going to take some time, it's going to take some tweaking for you to get it right. Then there's probably going to be some spots where it goes wrong, but all maybe you really need to do is create a space or a block or break the text or something, and it reflows everything and creates this whole magical experience. I've never done any of that. I'm mostly a very hands-on guy when it comes to making books and magazines. I want the pages to, I want to have ultimate control. I'm just a bit of a control freak, so I don't necessarily do this, but if you wanted to create a better workflow for yourself, this is one option. Another thing you could do is you could go to your master pages. If you go up here to your master pages and you created a box, we're just going to create a brand new box. It's funny that it just automatically applied that. Make it a text box. It's funny that that keeps happening. It keeps applying that same thing. We're going to go here. We're going to go none. We're just going to fill this with some type. And we're going to change that type to, change the type on this one to paragraph style, everything to body copy, and we're going to make it just a slight tint just so we can see it. And we're going to do an inset because we don't want that text touching, or maybe you do, I don't know. Then we create that as an object style, blah, object. In your master pages, you go back to your regular pages, and it's back there, it's back there, it's back there. You see it back there? Look, let's get rid of that. See, it's back there. It's stuck back there. If you wanted that, you could. Let's say, for instance, you wanted headers that all were the same across the time, or you wanted your page things to be a certain way, to do, like your page numbers to have a certain aspect to them that did a certain thing. You wanted to have little lines. You could do some really, really crazy stuff. Basically, anything that you can do to a box, anything you can put in a box, can be applied over and over and over again, both through the styles, through the libraries, and then if you wanted it to be on every single page, you could apply it to your master pages. Get down with your bad self. Now, Cautionary tale with object styles. Don't get so caught up in them that you use them over and over and over again to a point of where it starts to look repetitive and ugly. It's important that you have repetitiveness in certain aspects like books. Books need to have repetitiveness because people just read and they don't want to be disrupted. But if you're building magazines, you're building some sort of art book, you're doing something like zines or something like that, or whatever it is you're building, but brochures that have some interesting elements, don't get too stuck in your object styles. Use them to your benefit, but don't use them to a fault. Make sure you disrupt somehow. Make sure you change one of those things. You put in a different object. You click one of those objects that you've already created and change it up. Make it totally different. Break that sucker up a little bit so the person that's viewing whatever it is that you're looking at doesn't get bored. You don't want boredom. You don't want people going, blah, this is ugly. This is a make-believe magazine or whatever it is. Throwing make-believe magazines into the air, into the trash. Disrupt the flow. Don't rely on them too much. Don't rely on paragraph styles too much. Don't rely on character styles too much. Use them to your benefit, but break it up once in a while. Have some fun with that. If you're not sure what I mean by that, just go look at anybody who ever has done anything interesting with typography. I highly recommend you go check out David Carson, you go check out Ed Fella, you go check out Rudy Vanderland. You go all these older guys that have done some crazy stuff with type. If you told them that they had to use object styles, they would probably shoot you in the face with a protractor. I don't know if you could do that, but they would. So that's it. That's all you get with object styles. Now go play. Go do your thing. Go have some fun. Go mess around. Go make mistakes. Go make things ugly and then fix them and make them beautiful. But on that note, I'm gonna get out of here because I've got art to make. This thing's getting a lot closer right here. It's getting really close. It's almost there. It's not quite there. It's almost there. I've got some other stuff happening back here. If anybody's interested, I do art. If you're here for the design stuff, I do art too. And so that's why follow my channel, subscribe, do the like thing and do all that thing, or don't. It's up to you. It's totally up to you. I'm just here to provide value and have some fun and be fun at it. So do whatever you want. Long-time viewers will notice that something interesting, my chair doesn't make as much noise as it used to. It still makes a little noise, but it's not as creaky as I use some oil stuff and it's like, so that's not as disruptive, but then, I don't know, it's kind of funny to hear it there, but it frustrates, whatever. Anyway, so that's it, I'm out. Remember folks, be good today, be better tomorrow. See ya. And there it goes, makes a big loud creaky noise. Apparently still needs some more oil.